I'm really excited to be filming this video because I'm excited to talk about manga as always, but man, knowing some of these series are coming to an end, or if they did end anytime soon, man, that is not a happy thought, but we're gonna push through that feeling and talk about the love for these series. Hello friends, happy Wednesday. So very excited that you're here. So excited to be filming. We have had some really not cool weather today and we're supposed to have even more that's coming up. So I'm really thankful to just sort of have like a fun, happy place and not worry about the weather because it's just been sort of weird as of late and I don't like all the storms we've been having. But moving on to manga things, I do briefly just want to do a quick insert before we get into the video. And you guys are probably like, Laura, I'm tired of hearing about this. But guys, we are down to the third and final round of my event. This time it is critical. If you haven't already voted, the top winning 3 series from this round out of these 10 manga is what I'm going to be reading this summer. So be sure to get in those final votes and be prepared next Friday, not this upcoming, but next Friday for what I'm going to be reading. I'm really excited to see. But let's go ahead and talk about those top 5 manga or top 5 series I don't want to see end. I just don't. And shout out to my Patreon channel members because this was a suggested prompt and I felt really bad because I miscalculated my days and would have had done this prompt sooner if I just would have paid attention a little bit better. But better late than never, right? Oh man, for number 1, this is not a manga, this is a manhwa, and technically at the time of this video going live, this series has ended. At the time of filming this video, the series still has one more chapter out, okay? So I am counting it. And that is The Dragon Bride's Keeper. I have been reading this on Webtoons. There was, at some point, I don't remember when it was, honestly, I decided to give it a try on a whim. I don't even know, like, I hadn't seen anybody in my feed talk about it. And I was like, I'm just gonna give it a shot and, you know, probably not like it. I ended up getting hooked and so invested. The fluffiness in the first, I'm assuming it would be like season 1, was overwhelmingly real. I fell in love with these characters. I absolutely adored them. I love seeing this romance unfold. Everything was perfection. It's about a young woman. Goodness, I can't remember their names. And I just read the second to last chapter last night, but it's about a young woman who has been severely abused in her home, and she has this ability where she can heal other people or heal herself. So she covers up these bruises that she has received by healing herself, but hopefully where her family doesn't actually notice what she's doing because then they want to hurt her even more. When she decides to go outside for some reason, I don't recall what it was, but she meets this giant dragon and she befriends him in a way because he's very injured and she uses her healing abilities on him despite that she is afraid of this huge dragon. Well, fast forward many years, come to find out something is going down with their family and the soldiers are just rampaging into her home. They're wanting to take out her family and they willingly throw off their daughter here to marry the Dragon King, who has been known as a savage, as a monster, and she ends up marrying him. She's terrified. She's like this small little woman marrying this huge buff guy. The thing is she genuinely starts to fall for him and he genuinely starts to fall for her, and it's their love story and it is beautiful. I really enjoyed so many different parts of this story and I am so sad that it's ending and, you know, as this video is live, it's over. I have not been ready, and I know I talked about it a little bit in my April reading wrap up of how it was slightly rushed, and I don't actually really, like when I was reading last night, I was like, I really don't know if that's just me not wanting the series to end and feeling it's rushed because I'm just not ready, or if it genuinely sort of is. But I know this last chapter didn't feel rushed at all to me. It was so much fun, and just the way the series is like wrapping up has been so very good. I feel like they're like, reader, we see you, we know what you want, and we are feeding you that happy ending. And so I'm happy for our female lead, for all the trials and troubles she has gone through and all of the heartbreak, to see her smiling and very happy. I was about to say spoiler, but seeing her smiling and very happy has been everything as a reader, and I would so love to own this physically. I don't have it on like my manga physical license wish list. I need to make a manhwa one because this series is definitely on it. I deeply love it, and I am crushed. I am so crushed that it's about to be over, and I sort of feel like I might, well, not not sort of. I know in time I will definitely reread, but I don't know if I'm gonna reread like right away. But yeah, that was one of the first series that came to mind for today's prompt because I was like, I'm just not ready. For number 2, this was another series that actively came to mind, and that is In the Name of the Mermaid Princess. I recently buddy read volume 6 with my friend Holly. We've been buddy reading this entire series like as it releases, and I have loved it. I have deeply loved reading it with her, and man, the series has been so very good. It has been such a touching story that I never imagined for such this cute and bright cover that I never knew the themes that it would tackle. It's about a young woman here. Her name is Mio, and she is born in this country. She's the princess, and the thing is her father is trying to make it a humans only country because you have unhumans like Mio herself being a mermaid, and an unhuman is basically someone who's not a human, who is not normal. They may have animal-like qualities. They may become other creatures, as in Mio's case, or they be able to change their hair color. There's a variety of things that just make them different. Mio is engaged to a prince of another country, and her father, when we see the beginning, her father's like, you will take this medicine, you will take this pill that will make you stay human only. But the thing is the country that the prince is from, they send, I don't know what his proper title would be, but they send somebody, and his name is Yuri, and Yuri opens up Mio's world to a whole other idea. Why can't she just be a mermaid? Why can't she be happy and embrace who she really is? She ends up more or less sort of getting exiled to a degree and goes on this incredible adventure befriending humans and unhumans alike, seeing the treatment of her own people and how there's so much injustice that's happening to these unhumans simply because they look different. And Mio wants to take a stand against that, but it takes her going through all of these volumes to gain allies for sure, meet new people, make friends and whatnot. But I think to be even more rock solid in her belief that the unhumans and the humans can live in peace, that they can live side by side, and there will be no kind of difference between them in the sense of nobody's gonna be like, oh, you're an unhuman, I can't be friends with you. Oh, you're a human, oh, I hate you. Like, there would be none of that. And it has, again, been such a beautiful, beautiful story. The art is so incredible. Love the art deeply. It's very cute, but again, it has these deeper themes. I mean, tackling injustice, and you're seeing at one point where these children have willingly put themselves to be slaves, thinking they'll have a better life when somebody tells me, oh, they're not going to have a better life. And as the reader, it is heartbreaking. Granted, none of these things are, I mean, it has dark moments, but I'm not going to say like it's an overly dark story. There are some really happy moments, but I guess, again, looking at this kind of cover coming from the magazine Ribbon, I wasn't expecting that. And I'm not ready to say goodbye to Mio. I'm not ready to say goodbye to these adventures and seeing her grow into this incredibly brave young woman. It has been everything. It has been a series that has surprised me and deeply, deeply love. And can they just keep going on adventures? Can we have this series extended so that I could see her go to these other places, to these other countries that she hasn't maybe stayed in a long time, seeing her form alliances and seeing genuine change happen because of her actions, because she was not afraid to stand up to the people that said, you're too different to be yourself and we're going to change your very essence of who you are. We would not have this series if Mio didn't take that brave stand. And so I'm ready to see how things will unfold, despite that I didn't like the ending of volume 6. And I was so glad that me and my friend Holly were reading together and we could vent and we could talk about what went down, because things went down. And I was like, I'm not okay. So I was thankful for that. And I know it's going to have a good, strong ending, but at the same time, I'm just not ready to say goodbye to these characters, even though I really want volume 7 to hurry up and release. For number 3, I'm having a similar problem here, and I'm going to say the manga of your forma. I've loved volume 1. I have a video review of it. I even talked about in my manga news video this week, featuring the cover reveal of volume 3. This series has deeply surprised me, and shout out to my friend Being Queenie. I've read this manga, this volume here. I'm pretty sure I've read it twice because she reached out to me, and she gifted me a digital copy of volume 1. I don't remember how it came to be about. I just remember I was sick at that given time, and I was afraid that I wouldn't be able to connect with this series because it's a science fiction story, and it's about our main female lead, who I can never say her name right, but it's about her, and I gotta figure out how to describe this because I feel like I flub it every time. So in this world, so we have our female lead, she is an investigator, and more or less through this cord, this small thread that goes onto the brain or into the brain called your forma, she goes into this forma, like does a diving where, I wouldn't say spirit, but she's able to do this in this your forma, and she goes through these memories and through things that have happened to this person that she is in, like their mind, so to speak, and she aims to find what happened in these investigations. Maybe say who the killer was, who were other parties involved, what was happening, or maybe what this person claimed happened didn't actually happen, and she's got to investigate to see if that really does. The thing is though, is when she does this diving, as they call it, and she's in this forma, you have to have a partner, and that partner helps monitor what's going on with your body as your body rests here and you're in this place. Well, unfortunately for her, she's just so, I don't want to call her genius because she is a genius, but I don't feel like she likes being called that, and it's usually not in a compliment, it's in an insult, but I mean it is a compliment to her, but it's affecting her partners so deeply that they're getting hospitalized. And the thing is, in this world, you have these androids that she has major beef with. But who should step on the scene here? Harold, who happens to be one, and that is her new partner. So you're seeing her do these dives and do these investigations, and then on a personal note, seeing her struggle that her partner is an android who she has these very harsh feelings towards and for. Hopefully I did a great job describing this series, but it was just mind-blowing to me. I was really surprised that it wasn't so big-brained for me myself, no pun intended, but it wasn't so big-brained that I couldn't understand what was happening. Like right from the beginning, they explain how the forma works, how our female lead's job works, and what she does. Like all of it was really smooth, and I just really appreciate that because I like science fiction, but oftentimes I feel like it goes above what I can sort of handle when reading, or having, as not cool as it sounds, but having these really big words that I have to remember. There's no glossary, which there was. I was really thankful for that. Though they don't call it a glossary. I know it's in the digital version. I do know that, but I don't know where it is in this one. I thought it'd be at the end, but I know for certain that in the digital version it had it, and I was really appreciative and thankful. And so I say all that because being sick at that time and reading, I feel like just in general, when you're sick and reading, it can be hard. You don't really remember things, and I had no issues. I had no issues. It was really, really incredible. But the thing is the light novels are still ongoing, so there's definitely more story. But that's the thing. This series ends, the manga specifically, ends at 3 volumes. I want more. Like, I love the art. The art is beautiful, and the way things, oh, I just found, they call it a database for the glossary. I was like, there's gotta be a database somewhere, but I really liked how they call it a database rather than a glossary. But the art is really incredible, and I love the interactions between Harold and our female lead. It's very, very engaging. There's never a boring moment, and I really feel like it presents questions that make you think, especially in volume 2, which I think I mentioned in a previous reading wrap-up. What makes Harold so different than a human? Just because he's an android? Just because he's been built? Like, why are his emotions significantly less important compared to that of a human? Really interesting conversations and different questions that pop up that I just didn't know that I would be so invested and honestly think about those questions and how I personally feel on those topics. Very, very good. And there's definitely, like, especially in volume 2, there's some heartbreaking moments that come on the scene that were really hard to read, and I'm just, man, I feel like emotionally I was really engaged, and then when it came to the action, I felt equally engaged. Like, there's so many different parts of this, and if you're looking for a manga that really doesn't have romance, I mean, not gonna lie, I ship our leads very, very hard. Very hard, okay? But there hasn't been, at least in the manga, there hasn't been any romance at all. I'm a little bit unsure about the light novels. I've seen some spoilers, but I don't really know if that's just people saying what they want, because I 100% get that, or if that actually is definite and it's from the light novels themselves. I'm very thankful though that my friend Nicole did gift me the light novels for my birthday, and I plan to read them after volume 3 comes out this month. But I know that I would love to read more of the manga. I feel like it's going to end on a good note. Like, I'm desperately hoping that's true and that's the case, because I will be devastated if it ends on like like this cliffhanger, sort of like how Earl and the Fairy, where it was really, really good, and I have a video review of that series. I know it's a different genre, but the manga ended and it was good, but you know for a fact that there's so much more content that is available that you sort of feel dissatisfied because you're like, man, I mean, at that time when I read it, we didn't have the light novels. We have the light novels now digitally by J Novel Club, but I didn't like that feeling, and so I'm hoping for this series that the ending is strong, and that yes, even if it's sort of like, okay, you know, just because I know the knowledge that there's more story, there's more content, I hope it can still stand really strong just as a manga series alone, and that I can like happily recommend it and be like, you know, this is great just as it is. You don't need to read the light novels if you choose not to, but it's an option. Does that make sense? So yeah, I know, and I already am sad that volume 3 is going to be the last one of the manga, and so wish that there were more volumes to follow. Okay, technically for number 4, there's no news that I have seen, and hopefully there better not be any news, but it's been so long, y'all, since we got volume, is it 5? Volume 4? I don't even know where it's at on my shelf. Yeah, volume 5. It has been so long since we got a new volume, and that is Play It Cool, guys. I love this series so much. It is so fun. It's very episodic. It's just about these 4 different guys who are hot and goofy goobers at the same time, and the goofy things that they do. Like, for example, on volume 2 here, we have Shun, where you went to open a bag of chips, and the chips went everywhere. So that's just an example of what, or like forgetting your keys, or thinking you forgot your keys, but come to find out they're actually in your pocket. Like goofy things like that, and it's just them interacting together, and I love the manga so much. And I was looking at my shelf, and because honestly, I will pause and say, technically, I could have done this list a whole bunch easier, because I had 2 other picks, but I felt like everybody sort of knows, and I was like, well, I want to do something a little bit different, but they definitely were a Condition Called Love, which volume 18 just got confirmed. It's releasing in October, and then Queen's Quality, which has officially ended in the magazine that serializes in. Both of those I'm not ready to see end, period. Well, Queen's Quality is a little bit of a mixed bag. I'm ready to see Fumi's dad taken down ASAP. With A Condition Called Love, though, I'm definitely not ready to see that end. I could just be on there, Hotaroon Honey's romantic journey, and be completely content. Yeah, let's just keep going. So I want to do something different than them, and that's why I'm bringing in Play It Cool, guys, because this series, like, I'm like, you could just go on forever, mangaka. Well, maybe not forever, but you could just go on for years and just continue to give us these episodic stories, these episodic journeys, and I'd be 100% fine with that. Like, they're pretty short. Like, by each guy, they get their own chapter. So Shun's is yellow, and then Hayate is blue. And while I feel like there's a little bit more plot that's involved as the series goes on, honestly, it's just one of those manga that you could just pick up and you could flip to any random page and you could just start reading and just feel that serotonin boost from these goofy goobers. Like, I really, really love it. So this is more of a manga that, again, doesn't have a definite ending that I know of, but if it did, I would be sobbing. I would be sobbing. It's one of my favorite series. I've reread it several times, or just maybe not cover to cover, but just randomly picked it up and did that of just going to a page and just reading from there, because I love this series so much. Again, it's my serotonin boost. I need that in my life, and I'm just like, please don't let this series end anytime soon, because I will not be ready. Though please, let us get a new volume soon. That I would deeply appreciate. For number 5, I feel like I'm cheating a little bit because I know I gushed a whole bunch about this in last week's video of manga that I'm really anticipating and excited for. They're releasing this month, but hear me out on this. I'm gonna say Home Sweet Home, and I know I've only read volume 1. I haven't read volume 2. My copy has not shipped yet, and I'm very upset because I've seen friends already get theirs. So I'm like, where's my pre-order? Where is my pre-order Books A Million? But anyway, beside the point, this volume was just so fluffy and just so happy and lighthearted, and I just felt like my day was better despite that there was really no like intensity to anything. There was no huge battle or romantic drama. Like there was just none of that. It was just an easygoing, lighthearted read, and that's why I'm featuring it, because I like series like this, and it's about our main female lead, Momi, who wanted, her father gets a job, he ends up moving, and he's like, well, you could come with me, or you could stay, and she's like, well, she's finally found like a school that she really likes, made really good friends, she really doesn't want to leave, and so her father says she can stay with a friend and like rent out this apartment together. together, and he'll send her like funds, you know, to help provide for her and everything like that, while she goes here and stays with her friends and attends school. She thinks that her roommate's gonna be a girl. To her surprise, it is this young man right here. And the picture that was sent where she thought it was shown that he was a girl was him just dressing up for some kind of school festival where they dress up, all the guys dress up as girls and the girls dress up as guys. And she is sort of like leery at first, and then to her surprise ends up having feelings for him, and you could sort of tell this is going to be the romantic love story and this kohai and senpai having romantic feelings, or at least that is what I'm assuming, because when I did flip through it again, like after last week's video, because I mentioned that I couldn't tell if he really had feelings for her, there are signs. There are signs. And so I'm saying this, that I really feel that when we get that third and final volume later this year, I feel like I'm gonna be really sad and not want the series to end. Momomi is such a bright and interesting character who has really exaggerated faces, who's very earnest and gives her best, and sometimes can be, not gonna say Delulu, but I did love when her and her best friend, who are really close, I love their friendship so much, but when her friend's like, you know, that could be some forming of a romance there, she's like, no, 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 it can't be. And them being able to talk about these things, or like her friend, that same friend, is planting these seeds in her mind of it could be something so much more. Like, for example, too, that the guy has one of his friends come over and she's thinking it's got to be a girl because her best friend's like, oh, it's totally a girl, and that's why he's not telling you who it is and want you to meet him. It's like, oh my goodness. And of course, that's about the time she starts realizing that she's starting to have feelings for him, you know, making things a little bit complicated. But that's what's great too, is anytime there is complications, it's wrapped up by the end of the chapter. So it's not like this long ending drama, miscommunication, all those things, which has its time and place, because I do like Iosaki Saga and I love Our Horror Ride. Obviously that has a lot of drama and misunderstandings and lack of communication, but I just really appreciated just how easygoing this series was at the end of the day. I've said it in my Goodreads review, I probably said in a previous reading wrap-up, that there's nothing groundbreaking about this series, and I don't think you need to have something groundbreaking to fully appreciate it. It's one of those series that, you know, I'm like, okay, in the midst of reading Queen's Quality or Haikyuu or some other series, I can just pick this up and my brain just sort of turns off and just has this really nice time. I really love that reading experience just in itself. I love the story as well. It was great. It was fantastic. And the art's really nice too. But that reading experience really stood out to me, and it's why Volume 2 is one of my most anticipated releases this month, because I'm craving more of that. In the busyness and chaotic of life right now, it's just nice to have a series like that. And so I wish, like the creator's other works, like Rainbow Days, I think she has another series too that she's working on that's longer. It's about a group of guys as well, I think. But like Rainbow Days is what, 12, 13 plus volumes? Like, I want this series to have that kind of treatment as well. And so I really feel like I'm not going to be ready for it to end. I would be happily content to see Momomi go make her way through high school all the way up to college. I would be more than okay with that, but unfortunately that's not what I'm going to get. So I'm putting this on this list of series I don't want to end, because I really feel that's going to be me in a few months. I don't remember when Volume 3 releases, but I am very much hoping that I can do a video review and gush about it, and highly recommend it because Volume 1 was just fantastic. I really, really enjoyed it. And that, my friends, are my picks for series I don't want to end, or don't want to get news that it's ending soon. But I would love to hear from you, friends. What are some manga or manhwa or other series you're like, I don't want this to end. I don't want this to end. Hopefully I'm not the only one that is on the struggle bus of when series are ending and you're like, yay, we'll see the end. You're like, no, we'll see the end. You know, it's always a mixed bag. But yeah, let me know. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And thank you so much for watching. Bye!